What's going on, guys? To start this recipe off, here is 30 grams of ginger, and using a spoon I'm just going to peel it. Peeling the ginger with a spoon minimises wastage compared to a regular peeler or knife. Once peeled, on a zester or grater run the ginger through until it's nice and smooth, and if you're using a grater run it through on the finest side. Once smooth, split the ginger in half and place half in a small bowl and set aside, then place the other half in a large mixing bowl. With 6 cloves of garlic, we're going to zest or grate the same way as we did with the ginger, half it and place half in the small bowl, and half in the big mixing bowl. With 2 brown onions, slice off the end opposite the root, slice it in half through the root, and peel off the skin. And all of these peels can be saved for a stock, then thinly slice the onion, stopping at the root. Slice it in half, stopping at the root, and dice these into small to medium sized pieces. Make sure to trim any flesh off the root to avoid wastage, and the root can also be saved for a stock, and transfer the onion to a bowl. Here is 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of chicken thigh. Slap it onto the board and trim off any excess fat, which can also be saved for a chicken stock. I'm going to cut these into thirds, but you can cut the thigh however you'd like. I cut the chicken like this because when the chicken cooks it will shrink, and small pieces of chicken will dry out and be overcooked. Once the chicken's sliced, add it to the large bowl with the garlic and ginger. Add in 1 cup or 250 grams of plain yogurt, along with 2 teaspoons of garam masala, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of turmeric, and depending if you like chili, 1 teaspoon of ground chili, 2 teaspoons of sea salt flakes, and 1 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. Mix all of this together and make sure it's all combined and none of the chicken is stuck together. And then I have to apologise to the environment, but place over some cling wrap, and this will lock in all of those flavours, and allow this to marinate in the fridge from anywhere between half an hour to 24 hours. The longer the better. Place a large pot onto your stovetop over a high heat. Once nice and hot, add in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Add in the marinated chicken, and you may need to do this in batches. Just make sure not to overcrowd the pan as we want to get a nice colour onto the chicken, and overcrowding can cause the chicken to steam. Seal the chicken for 3 minutes or until it's nice and golden colour. Then once nice and golden, flip the chicken over and repeat the process. After 6 minutes of cooking time, remove the chicken from the pot, place on a plate and set aside. And make sure not to add any leftover marinade from the bowl as it will burn. Hang on to this and we'll use it later. Once the chicken's removed, add in 2 tablespoons of clarified butter, and I will leave my link on how to make this in the description below. Mix the butter through to melt and add in the diced onions. Sweat the onions for 3 minutes, stirring frequently, and sweating off just means cooking without colour. After 3 minutes, add in the garlic and ginger. Mix that through and cook this for 20 seconds just to release the aromatics. Add in 1.5 teaspoons of garam masala, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1 teaspoon of ground coriander seeds. Fry the spices off for 30 seconds, constantly stirring the pot. Add in 400 grams of tinned diced tomatoes, and alternatively you can use fresh, and half a cup or 125 grams of tomato puree. Mix that together and cook for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, reduce the heat to a medium-low, season with 1 teaspoon of cracked black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt flakes. Mix that through and allow to simmer for 8 minutes. During this time, the sauce will thicken and all of the flavours will greatly enhance. Whilst the sauce is simmering, in another saucepan, add in 2 cups of basmati rice. Alternatively, you can use long grain rice. Rice in this current situation is literally like gold, so just use whatever you can get. Over a high heat, stir the rice for 1 minute. This will toast the rice and give it a really nice nutty flavour. Once toasted, add in 4 cups of water, and the ratio is 1 part rice to 2 parts water. Give it a quick mix to break up any clumps and allow to come to a boil. Once boiling, chuck on a lid, reduce the heat to low and cook for 18 minutes. Then back to the sauce. After 8 minutes, add in 1 1/4 cups of heavy thickened cream, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and add in the chicken along with all of its juices. Now it's time to add in that marinade left in the bowl, and all of this is great extra flavour. Then mix the sauce and the chicken together until it's fully combined. Then bring the sauce to a simmer and cook for 8 more minutes. This will further thicken the sauce and allow time for the chicken to cook. With the rice, after 18 minutes, turn it off the heat, but keep the lid on for 5 more minutes. This will allow it to steam. After 5 minutes, remove the lid and fluff up the rice with a fork. After the sauce has been simmering for 8 minutes, we can turn it off the heat, and if your sauce is really thick, you can thin it down with half a cup of water, but with this recipe you shouldn't need to. Spoon the steamed rice into a bowl, ladle the curry into a serving bowl, and the aroma coming from this is absolutely incredible. Garnish the curry with some fresh coriander or cilantro, and serve alongside some toasted naan bread. Now I have to give this a try. Make sure to get some chicken too. And that tastes so good. It's tomatoey, creamy, the spices release the most amazing flavour combination and partners so well with the rice and naan bread. This recipe here serves 4. You can store it in the fridge for up to 4 days and can also freeze it for up to 4 months. This recipe is fun to make and will definitely keep you occupied whilst we all isolate. Stay safe, thanks for watching and enjoy.